Hello everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. This is Q&A where I answer your questions, or at least I try to. Okay? It is Thursday. I hope you're having a manageable week. I hope you're taking care of yourselves. I'm doing okay today. I was very tired yesterday. I couldn't function. Well, I could because I had to work, but I couldn't record. I didn't have the energy to tap into my energy. So I took a break. I took a rest. I took a beat. And I got through things I had to get through. You know, it's fine. But I am well rested today. I was able to get really, really good sleep. And I'm here. I'm here now. Okay. I keep saying okay. That's fine. What was I gonna say? There was something I wanted to say. Hold on, give me a second here. Let me think. Oh yes, I remember now. Full moon is today. And every time leading up to the full moon, my brain just sort of goes haywire. My energy goes crazy. Has anyone else experienced that? It's always been that way. And I always wonder what is going on. And I always notice, oh yeah, full moon is coming. And when it comes the day of, I'm fine. But the days leading to it, it's like, I don't know. Things are crazy. The ad I saw the other day that I talked about in the community post, the Kamala Harris, Tim Walz campaign ad that came on the TV suddenly. And me and my sister was talking. This was about, I want to say, maybe 12 in the morning, maybe 11 in the evening. It was late. And we're talking, and suddenly this ad comes on, and we grow very quiet, and we're looking very confused at this campaign ad. And it was on Sling TV, and I'm like, do they show old ads? You know, it's recorded shows. They show ads. Like, I don't know how it works. And it did say yes, but only from a few days ago, not like months ago. So I thought that was strange. It was but it didn't say, if I remember correctly, it didn't say presidential. It didn't say, it was clearly a campaign ad. It was, and we were just looking at each other like, that's really weird. That's strange. And I thought that was strange. I thought it was a coincidence, and maybe it was a message. Didn't ask. Still didn't ask. I feel like it was, but it was a very long ad. But anyway, it was an ad I'd never seen before, quite honestly. That they would run that. That was interesting that would pop up. But anyway, let's get into the questions. Before we begin, everything I say here is for entertainment purposes only, for informational purposes only. Everything I say here is alleged, even in the comments, okay? If you want a personal reading, you can click more in the description of this video, and I will send you a link. Or you can email me, moonlightergy15@gmail.com. That is moonlightergy15, one whole thing, at gmail.com. And I will send you the link there, okay? Or if you want to send me something or make a comment about something, you can, okay? Takes me some time to get through. I get a lot of emails from my actual work. And my other part here, So I may miss something, or it happens a lot, but I've been trying to get better at checking more consistently. Okay. But anyway, let's jump into, I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I'm probably not. Let's jump in the first question. I didn't pick all the questions, just the ones I felt most drawn to, but if I missed a question, ask me again. It doesn't mean I'm not going to choose the question, like I've just discarded it forever. You can ask again, or you could come to my live. I'll more than likely answer. I answer a lot of questions in the live. I'll be doing another live this Saturday, guys, okay? 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Okay, so let's go. First question, number 1. Number 1, Mayhop PE69. Hello? Hi. Will there be a massive earthquake which will affect all countries in the Pacific Ring of Fire? Can the possibility be transmuted into something almost nil in physical destructiveness by asking help from the collective? Okay. Massive earthquake. Pacific Ring of Fire. I don't know what that is. I've heard of it. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, I knew that. Sometimes I think I don't know things, and I actually do. It says volcanoes. And the sites of seismic activity or earthquakes around the edges of the Pacific Ocean. Let's see. Let's see here. Whew. So I heard yes, there'll be activity, but not massive. I'm hearing 2 years from now, there could be possibly a massive earthquake in that area. There'll be activity this year. I believe there has been activity. It feels like. But not massive this year. Okay, let's ask, will there be a massive earthquake in the Pacific Ring of Fire in the year 2025? Saying no. Let me see. I'm not even looking at my screen to see how it looks. Okay. Saying no. Okay. How about the year? What would be 2 years? Would it be 2027? I feel like 2028 for some reason. I don't. Will there be a massive earthquake in the Pacific Ring of Fire in the year 2027? Saying yes. Okay. Feels like 2028 too, though. Can it be transmuted into something almost nil in the physical destructiveness by using help from in terms of this, nil and destructiveness? No. I'm hearing more people will be safe, more people will prepare because of the activity that will be, or has been, I'm not sure, occurring this year. Okay? Hope that answered your question. Number 2. Anna S. asked, will Elon confess he rigged the election results? He has confessed. Will he confess? Let's see. Let me just move these cords. There's a lot of cords happening today for some reason. All right. Will Elon Musk confess? It's moving already. Will Elon Musk confess that he rigged the election, the 2024 U.S. election? Nope. He will not confess. Clear the center, please. Will he be exposed for rigging the 2024 U.S. election? Saying yes. Clear the center. Will he be forced to confess? Will he be forced to confess? Saying maybe. Yeah, I felt that. Okay. Why not? He has a few. He has to be pushed into it before that happens. He's not quite there yet. I don't see that either. A few more lines to go. Okay, number 3. Number 3. I'm going to revisit that question. Something there that I need to process in my brain. Don M. Yambrick. Hurricane for Florida. Hurricane for Florida. I heard yes for August. Worst of it will be out in the sea, though. Will it be a Florida? Will it be a hurricane in Florida in August? Okay, says yes. Clear the center, please. Will the worst of it be out at sea? Will the worst of it be out at sea? Okay. All right. It did say more floods will happen, and more floods happened. But yeah, the answer is yes, but the worst of it will be out at sea. Once it touches land, it won't be as severe. Okay, Don? Number 4. But, listen, always be prepared. Okay? Number 4. Number 4, Teresa T5737. What is the significance of portal days, if any, in spirituality? These are days like 7/7, 8/8, 9/9, etc. That's a great question. Portal days, like 11/11. Okay, my birthday. They are, what are they? Give me a second to think. Okay, so they're like in numerology and in spirituality. They are dates that possess amplified energy, like that increase our manifestation power. Okay, like they're for spiritual growth, acting as like gateways for spiritual growth, transformation. Okay, so they're like 12/12, 11/11, 8/8, 7/7. Okay. So like some like amplified energy, heightened vibrational frequency, okay, with certain numbers. I'm not an expert in it, okay, but about spiritual alignment, 1/1, 11/11. With 7/7 is like manifestation, thinning the veil where the spirit world and as much between the physical and the spirit realms, it thins. Okay, so you could feel more deeply connected with your intuition, with your higher self. Let's see here. So the 11/11, I've always been told, 11/11. Someone said like, oh, that's that's so like lucky. It's like heightened spiritual energies, more opportunities for growth, transformation, manifestation, sort of thing. 8/8 is one, Lionsgate portal. The Lionsgate portal linked to Sirius, the star. A powerful time for manifestation and positive change. Okay, so those are the significance. You could look up other days that are pretty significant, but those are the days that stick out for me. Okay, hope that answered your question. All right. Number 5, Malt M2325. Here's one out of left field and not about the political situation. UFO researcher Richard Dolan has a theory that a breakaway civilization exists, where superclassified defense projects have resulted in anti-gravitic aircraft, and where military members and contractors work side by side with some non-human intelligent beings, like ETs. Is this true, or is just someone's sci-fi novel in the making? Well, well, if it is, it'd be a cool sci-fi novel. And, art always imitates life in some way. It doesn't seem that far-fetched to me, but, I don't know. It's like, okay, so would our military do something like that? Meaning, like, I'm not trying to hate on people, but I feel like sometimes we're so far behind in this country in terms of technology development. We're just so far. We're so far behind other countries, it seems like. Just how the way they do things. I'm not saying we don't have technological advances, but, or even the type of advances that are available, or they're developing things, but we just seem like so far behind. So, but let's see. Richard Dolan. Let's see is he telling the truth? Is his theory? It's a theory now. Oh, look. Page of Swords. Very nice. Very nice for that kind of discovery, or, is he correct? Is his theory correct? I should ask Edgar. He would know. What's it? Is his theory correct? Like, is it doing it in another country? Because we're so far behind in things. I mean, Page of Swords, Justice, Death, Seven of Wands, the Hierophant, and King of Swords, Queen of Swords, Ace of Wands, Seven of Cups. Is he telling the truth? Like, is his theory correct? I'm hearing yes, okay, but not in a way that we think. Other beings aren't directly working side by side. It's more of a it's more of an assistance, knowledge being given. Knowledge being given. It doesn't seem like here though. Science and knowledge being given, passed on, but it's not like a direct knowledge of like, this is actually coming from. Am I making sense? Like, humans aren't ready for that kind of interaction. And they know that. So it's something that, but they, intelligence is passed from them to us. But not directly. Here, and you have these sort of with the Page of Swords and the Hierophant. It's the knowledge being passed. This is Page of Swords reminds me of scientists. So it's like something being left out there to be discovered, but it's not, they're not like working side by side. Okay, so his theory is correct, but not in that way. It's just information being passed on, being shared willingly, because, they ain't ready for that kind of. Okay, next question. Number 6. 2 people asked me this. Okay. Next question. 2 people asked me similar questions. Rachel K and Nina H. Okay. So I will answer both their questions. It says, hi Kim. Hello. I'm enjoying your series, channeling Edgar. Has Edgar been your spirit guide since birth? Or did he start guiding you when you had the NDE and began using your gifts? Is his purpose to help you guide others through these challenging times, which you are helping so many with your channel? Thank you. Nina said, hi Kim, just question about your gift with guides here. Might sound crazy to ask this, but why are guides even available for channeling? They're with us all our lives and helping us no matter what from birth, right? Did Edgar choose you, or did your soul choose him? Why has he come to the forefront of this time in your life? Can you ask him? I'm intrigued, and the more you channel him, the more questions I have. Please share more about what you understand regarding your journey. Thanks. Okay. Thank you, and thank you. All right, so and Edgar, I feel, and I asked him, he's chosen me, and the reason why what I understand rather is, I was missing, in doing this work, it just felt like, I know he has not always been there. When the first time I channeled him, I felt very connected to him. It felt like a puzzle piece just fell into place. And it felt like he did tell me that I chose you. He wasn't always there. And it felt like everything that I felt I was missing just clicked into place when I channeled him the first time. And the first time I channeled him, it felt like he was a mentor in a sense. Just sort of, it felt like he was channeling me. To keep it real, it felt like he was the one in control, and but when I I feel like the thing that I was missing, like I'm doing this, but I'm missing something I couldn't see fully, and I couldn't see everything. Some things were very clear to me that I just, my guides would tell me and I would trust and I would know. But a lot of things that I wanted clear to me wasn't. And so now things feel very clear and I feel more confident, especially when it comes to timelines. I feel like that was the puzzle that I could not get my hand on. And timelines change and energy change. I can understand that. But just feeling, it was like once he made himself available to me, it was just like everything clicked. I don't feel, I'm getting very dizzy right now. Sorry, that happens. I don't feel, it doesn't feel like when I do all of this, I don't get tired. I've noticed those sort of changes when I channel, like I have all this energy. After I don't feel drained like I used to, those sort of things. I have a better understanding. I hear things more clearly. And I feel like his presence, not to say my guide's presence didn't, but I just knew it was something. I needed something that I couldn't grasp until I channeled him. And so to answer your question, yeah, he told me, he chose me. He wants to guide. And it's very nice. Okay. He is here to provide. That's what he said. He is here to provide, as a resource. And it's really, feel different. It's very, it's like, and you're seeing, you have this gift, but I couldn't see the way I know I could see. In terms of, for your question, Nina, why are guides even available for channeling? That's part of what they're there for, to protect you. And this is from my understanding. Some of them are there from birth. Some of them you discover. They're there to guide you to your purpose, to help you align more with your higher self. If you have gifts, they're there to help them flourish. Okay. Those are just the the basics that I'm explaining to you, but it's just like I'm thinking of the guides that I know of. I know more is to come. A lot of my guides are otherworldly. They're not from this planet. And it seems like as I go through this process and what I needed in the beginning, I would only talk to 3 archangels I knew of that are my spirit guides. I would just, because that's what I needed most at that time when this all sort of culminated in the last 2 years. And so as I went through this, I started connecting to more is what I needed at that time. And So I guess they come, when you think back or you think of your life experiences, what you've gone through, sometimes you hear this inner voice that's saying like, it's going to be fine. When you're going through like real peril, and you sort of latch onto that, and you've come to the other side and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm okay, so it's those sort of things. I believe those are your guides. And it takes work to really fully connect to them and really fully hear them. And this Edgar Cayce is, I felt like, wow, he's like on the same, he is right here with me. Like, he's very much like, I don't know if it's because he's in my mind. I felt like he just would pluck things out, his energy. And so it wasn't like the missing piece was me believing. Never. I've always, because I'm doing these things and I'm channeling people who have passed or your spirit guides, saying things and knowing things I never even heard of or thought of, made me pretty much is like, yeah, you are actually doing this. It's not in your mind. But the thing that I felt I was missing was full clarity and confidence. And saying like, he's very much like, no. And I've said things recently that has happened. So, things feel more sharper and clearer for me. And I feel more confident in saying like, time and with timing, and that's what I feel more sharper in my answers. Okay, but there are ways to connect more. There are ways to feel like if you're hearing things but it's muffled, there are things you can do to connect more with your spirit guides. Okay, I hope I answered that question and I wasn't just rambling. Number 7, infinite curly. Okay, it's a long one, so give me a second. The answer to the second question is no. I'll explain once. I'm prior Navy. The military is supposed to be apolitical in all situations. The problem right now is that many of the top brass have been replaced with loyalists, and they more than likely aren't opting to walk in the White House to escort him out. No. Personally, the only way that I see the military escorting him out is if he just refused to leave. And even then, it would be a last resort. They would ask the Secret Service and then exhaust any law enforcement options before that. A military coup, other countries have them, but having been in the service, people would much rather keep their paycheck and not go to court, marshal for a mutiny. Of course. I know, of course, a mutiny is a crime punishable in the military. I know that someone might say, but y'all swore on oath to the Constitution. We did, and yet most would rather keep their paycheck. I wouldn't say most. I wouldn't. I don't necessarily fully agree. Go to work, go home, and that's it. You would be surprised. I have someone who was in the military their entire lives, full time. And the importance of the Constitution it's almost like, and you were in the military, I'm sure. And I'm not naive in saying that there's no one, but anyway, I'll continue to read your question. So all that to say, will the military just sit on their hands? Well, going back to when I channeled Benjamin O. Davis Jr., who I've channeled before, who I feel has their own gifts. I just recently channeled him, and he told me not to worry. So long as people, they're, of course, you have people who just want their check, and, you have people who are loyalists, but there are more people who understand the assignment and what they are there for. Staunch people in the military who like fully believe in what they are, why they swore their lives to the military. And again, I'm not naive. I know in anywhere, in any country, there's stuff going on where there are people who are just corrupt, and I never honestly felt that the military would have anything to do with a removal. I haven't, it doesn't feel like something like that to me. But again, anything's always possible. Anything is possible in this world. Anything, okay? Because we are here now. So we are here, and would they sit on their hands? Let's see. The answer, would the military sit on their hands, is no, they wouldn't. They wouldn't sit on their hands. It would be a very complex situation. I just turned the fan on if you guys hear that. It would be very complex, and it literally is like a break in case of emergency sort of deal. It would have to be at its end. And what image I'm being shown is, honestly, is very kind of scary. It not scary because something is, not scary because for me, it's an image that is scary to me. Okay? And it's a image of Donald Trump being buried. It's so strange that this image is in my, this vision, and it looks like he's just falling deeper down into like tunnel of darkness, or digging, like someone digging, and they're just falling deeper into like a grave, is what I'm literally being, the images in my head as they're answering the question. So let's see the visual. Would the military just sit on their hands? Would the military just sit on their hands? I know. It's extremely complex. It's a complex situation because the president is in charge of the military. They're the commander-in-chief. But there are things that I think even people in the military, that it's above their pay grade, that they wouldn't know. Do I see them doing that? What I'm being told is like it would have to be an extreme circumstance. It would have to be literally like break in case of emergency sort of is a process. I don't know what the process is, but I'm just repeating back. There's a process that needs to happen before it gets to that point. It will have to be very, very extreme. Now, the citizens would be like, hey, we're here. But no, we aren't in their eyes, okay? Because that is very serious. Would we ever get to that process? I'm asking. Would we get to that process? Is maybe. Maybe. Benjamin said, don't worry about the military too much. And I feel like I trust his word. I feel like he was pretty surefire in his message. But, it's that image of him. I want to know what that means. He will literally be buried before it gets to that point. That's what I heard. It's haunting, the image. And I'm not being dramatic. It was very like, why are you showing me this? Okay, hope that answered your question. But I get it. But, there's just things we just don't know at the same time. Okay, Kim F3I. How is Donald Trump's health? And you also asked me about the military. I just answered that question. And let's see Donald Trump's health. His health is not good. He doesn't listen to anyone. He doesn't take care of himself. He has some neurological things happening there. His health is bad. Donald Trump's. Okay. Let's do that again. Oh, the tower's there. Donald Trump's health. And this is, I haven't seen him speak. I haven't watched anything of him. It's just what I see in it, in his energy. His health is not. Shuffle some more. It's the same cards that if they come up again, then those are his cards. Knight of Pentacles. High Priestess. A lot of secrets about his health. Someone taking care of him with the Empress there. Two of Wands. The Devil. Queen of Wands. Page of Cups. Same old. He said, he gets a lot of treatment. He gets a lot of treatment. And he has a lot of, he just doesn't, he's going to live the life he wants. No one could tell him anything. Does he take drugs? Possibly. You know, he has perhaps some sort of addiction to food, Delay instability, He gets secret treatments, perhaps, with the high priestess and he has plans that he doesn't follow, perhaps. Yeah, I mean, they advise him. It's all a secret, though. I wonder if they're gonna, if Jake Taper's gonna go and see what's going on there. Write another book. But he doesn't, do I see him? Do I see him, you know what? Yeah, I do. I had that dream that long time ago. And it was President Trump's funeral. And I was like, wow, why did I dream that? And then President Carter died, and I was like, oh, that's probably it. And no, I don't think so. I don't think that was before, when I was still sort of like shaky on my clarity. Okay, when? I don't know, man. Something's keeping, But it'll catch up to him, I tell you that much. Because he doesn't follow he gets these treatments, something holding him together, and he doesn't follow any recommendations. Sometimes evilness keeps you going, keeps you alive. Okay, number 9. Ellen 1231. I keep hearing about an upcoming rise in natural disasters and mostly associated with water. This summer and early fall, are we going to see significant rise in levels affecting the Atlantic coastline from Florida to Maine? Will there be a big loss of life or mostly just damage to structures? I do see increase in natural disasters. I was shown that. Will there be more loss of life? Now, when I was talking about this, and I had asked, when I channeled Edgar again, and I asked him, he showed me the water, and it had 2 meanings, and that, he said this will happen again, and then more floods happened around the country, in New Mexico, I believe it was. Around the Atlantic coastline, you're asking. I'm hearing some, not too much. Not too much. Not too much out of the usual. Okay. And I'm hearing there'll be more preparation. There'll be more preparation? If you know, but not, it doesn't, not on the Atlantic coastline. Not a lot. Okay. Number 10. What time is it? Okay. Pumpkin ASMR 8309. Hi Kimberly, hello. Will the Supreme Court still be a part of our government by this time next year? Will the Supreme Court be a part of our government this time next year? Will the Supreme Court? I'm saying yes. Cliff Center. You see how they're mad and trying to turn on Kantaji because she's the only one to speak up, really, and say what the truth is. Yeah, it'll still be here. It'll still be here. Will the same members be there? There's something there. I don't know. I hope so. Don't go away yet. Not yet. Stay. Yeah, it'll be there. There's something cooking with the Supreme Court. If I don't know what though. It feels something like I need to look at again at a later date. Okay, Amy N9639. My question is about Jill Stein. She appears every 4 years and campaigns relentlessly. She's so... Oh my goodness. Making it so much harder for Dems to win those crucial... Yeah, that's what she's there for. She then goes underground like a cicada until the next election. Will she continue to repeat this pattern every 4 years until she retires or dies? Thank you. Yeah, she will. That's her bread and butter. That's how a lot of people make money, actually. People like her, they pretend they're running for something. She's very strange. And, wasn't she at a dinner with a bunch of Russians, or was that AI? You know, I don't know. I don't know if that was real or not, but... Let's see, does she actually want to be president? It would be funny if she found herself being president. I mean, it wouldn't be funny, but... Just because you really want this job, you keep running, here, have at it. Okay, does Jill Stein actually want to be president of the United States? No. Okay, clear the center, please. Will she continue to run for president every election cycle until she cannot? Yes. Okay. It's literally her bread and butter. That is, you know. Show me your intentions with running every election cycle. I have to shuffle again. It's the same cards. They come out, those are the cards, but it's the same cards from before the other question, and shuffle enough. It's just very, it's like you're enroaching. You really don't want to be president. You just do the same thing. You're like a mooch, and you just, let me not judge this lady. It's their rules, right? Anyone can run. I feel like these are the same cards from before. You know what? This deck, I'm done with you. That deck is dead. I don't know. I need to, this deck, it's not given. It hasn't been given. It hasn't been giving what it's supposed to give. You know what I'm saying? I need to like burn it or something. I don't know. It's just very much, I don't know if it's a curse on it or spell or what, because I just haven't been feeling it. I need to cleanse it or something. Okay, show me Jill Stein really quickly, please. This deck always want to give me the Ace of Cups. Oh, man. That's her right, though, right? To run whenever, just like, Bernie. Always throwing his hat in. These are the same. What was going on here? What was happening? This deck too is starting to do that. I'm gonna cleanse these decks because something is happening. I feel it. Like when I touch them, I'm just like, it's the money grab. I don't even, honestly, I don't need this to pull cards. But, the visual, Page of Tower, shaking things up, the Justice. Justice came out before. Justice is a part of it, for fairness and integrity. She wants, she's like, I could do this because perhaps some arrogance. The Hierophant. Yeah, look, I mean, she is saying I have a right. Six of Pentacles. People tell her to do it. It's a. You know how you have plays in football and in basketball and any sport you play, competitive sport where there are plays involved. That's her play. Comes out. Vote for me because, I'm independent and we should have, I don't know what she'd be saying, but it's just the same sort of, she'll continue on and do it just like everyone else because that's how you make money in the political arena. I should do it. Why not? I got bills to pay. That would be. Anyway, number 12. 7G Campa. I like to know when will all the leaks. I can't tell you that as I am so worried. Yeah. And it hurts my heart. And when will ICE leave my state? There's definitely something about this summer. like I said, look for the next 2 months. Or something, I can't say for sure, but something is something. Okay? Something is something. Okay? But I could tell you what I do see. Things are going to get very heated with ice because people are, I sense and I see that people are going to be, it's going to be bad. You have people just sort of going to work and like just sort of, like not everything is normal. And you have the other people who are saying like, hey, so this isn't normal. And you have another group of people who will mobilize. It won't be good. It's going to be not good. In the next few weeks, months, I can tell you. It's going to be volatile. And I could see that especially in major cities. Okay? And well, it's going to be, a lot of things are going to come out. People are just going to be put to the brink. Okay? That's my answer. Number 13. Mrs. C.P. Jones, 16. Is there still hope for Kamala to be president, or is that not happening this year or next year? There's still hope, yes, but there is so much to get through before that is recognized. That can be recognized. There's so much to get through before that can be recognized, okay? There's a lot in between here and there. You know? If a removal happens, that even won't be recognized yet, you know? There's so much. It's so much. It's so much. Like so much, just like all of that. All of this has to be all of this. Okay? That's what I know. Number 14. For observation. Observation 11. Hi, Kim. What time is it? Okay, I have time. I've been very interested in the Schumann Resonance and its effect on people, particularly people with spiritual gifts. Is there an actual connection? And if so, I would love to know what you and your guides think of this, please. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. Incidentally, here's a funny story. I don't know if it's funny, but I learned about the Schumann Resonance in 2020, and I stumbled upon it by mistake through, I was reading something. This was when we were in the pandemic. I think it was Facebook. When I was on Facebook, I stopped using Facebook in 2020, but I learned about this through MAGA. because they like to refer, or at that time, I don't know what they're doing now, I don't pay attention, but at that time they would make this reference to this thing. And it increased. I know I'm not getting to the question, but I'm going to get to it. But this thing here, they would talk about it, and I thought it was something they made up, because they would, when Biden won the presidency, they would talk about it even more, and I'd be like, what is this thing that they keep talking about? Like, oh, the frequency is so high, he's going to be exposed. Like, that's all they would focus on, is how Biden would be exposed because of the Schumann Resonance. The frequency is so high and it's coming, and and I'd be like, what is that? Then I learned what it was, and I was like, I was so, that's what they held on to with this frequency, this thing that affects people, and spiritually, and spirituality, the connection to spirit increases based off of the frequency. That's how I learned about it, and I was like, click, get out of here. These people are, But anyway, for those of you who don't know what the Schumann Resonance is, it's an Earth electromagnetic field. It's like a frequency, very low frequency. Okay, so like when it peaks, it's like, oh, a bit, it's supposed to influence our health and well-being, psychologically, emotionally. It has benefits, cognitively, it's supposed to improve our cognitive function, reduce stress, anxiety, enhance sleep, and even help with healing, and okay. And the other side of it is like the pollution. I'm just going off here of my brain, what I remember of it. And it could lead to sleep disturbance, mood, that sort of thing. I don't pay too much attention to it, quite honestly. When you expose yourself to the frequencies, it could help reduce stress and anxiety. It could promote feelings of calmness. I'm sure that there's a lot of recorded sounds on YouTube that you could listen to. I do listen. When it comes to frequency, I believe in that wholly, that it could affect you spiritually, and it could affect you psychologically, emotionally, mentally. I've never listened to, honestly, the frequency of the Schumann. Maybe I will and see what happens. Like, people believe that it like makes you immune, your immunity, what am I saying? Your immune system, it increases the function by listening without healing. I could see that. I believe in that. I do. Go to the doctor, but yes, I believe in how frequencies could affect you, because it's all connected. Our psychological, our emotional, our physical. Okay? So I'll do that. I'll listen to that frequency. I've never listened to it. And I think I've stayed away from it because of how I found out about it. So I just was like, I'm not getting involved in that. But yeah, I could see that. Okay. All right, guys. So that's it. I have to get ready for a session. And that was the last question. I hope I answered your questions. I hope you're satisfied. There are some questions I'm going to revisit, perhaps maybe Saturday, about Elon and what else? There was one other. I want to actually revisit the alien, the ET, the I'm not sure if I answered it fully yet, because I'm thinking the breakaway civilization. It could, yeah. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna go. Please like the video, comment down below, and today's Thursday. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Where I'll do more channeling, and the week ahead perhaps. And then Saturday, I'll see you for the live 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will put the reminder there for you guys, okay? Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I'm forever grateful, and I'll see you later. Bye.